and welcome to lesson 53 on perimeter and measures of a circle. Our first vocab word is perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around a polygon. And remember that a polygon is any closed sided figure. So this would kind of be like the fence going around a baseball field or around any figure. Example A, find the perimeter. Here we have a rectangle, and we're going to call the longer side the length and the shorter side the width. So in order to find the perimeter of a rectangle, we're just going to add up the lengths of all their sides, because that's what's going to tell us the distance all the way around it. So I know that this is 2 centimeters and this is 3 centimeters. So my length is 3 centimeters, plus my width is 2 centimeters, plus my other length is 3 centimeters, plus my other width is 2 centimeters. And so 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 3 is 8, plus 2 is 10. And so this rectangle has a perimeter of 10 centimeters. Let's look at our second example. Now this triangle and this pentagon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides, are something, or at least I tried to draw them, to be something called regular polygons. Regular polygons have all their sides and angles are equal. So all their sides are the same length and all of their angles are the same measure. And so if something is a regular polygon and we know the length of one side, we can assume that all the other sides are the same measure. And sometimes that's shown with these little tick marks, which I've shown you before, to say they're all congruent. So I can find the perimeter of this triangle by just adding up 12 plus 12 plus 12. And I could find the perimeter of this pentagon by adding up 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Can you think of a simpler pattern to find the perimeter of a polygon, a regular polygon? You can multiply. So 12, the length of one side, times 3, which is the number of sides the figure has that are going to be 12 inches. And so 12 times 3 is 36. And for this one, we would do 5 centimeters times the number of sides that this figure has, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I would get 25 centimeters for the perimeter of this figure. By the way, perimeter is different from area, in that area is how much is inside of the figure, like the grass inside, and the perimeter would be the fence around it. Okay. So, for the perimeter of a regular polygon, multiply one side length times the number of sides. We just did that. Now we're going to get to our circle vocabulary. So our first vocab that we need to know is circumference. So the circumference, and this is spelt wrong, E-R-E-N-C-E. The circumference is the perimeter of a circle. It's the area that goes all the way around the circle. Okay, the outward line of the circle is called the circumference. And then right here, the distance right in the middle is our center. I didn't label that for you, but the middle of the circle is called the center. And then if we were to draw a straight line from one outer spot on the circumference all the way through the middle to the other side, straight across the circle, is called the diameter. And a radius is when you start from the center and you just go out to the side. So you're going to need to know and apply the relationship between diameter and radius. And I wrote it for you right here. The diameter is 2 times the radius, right? Which just makes sense. Radius is halfway across the circle. And so if I were to do that 2 times, I would go all the way across the circle, which is the diameter. And a radius is half the diameter. So if I told you that the diameter was 12 and I asked you what the radius is, you would just cut it in half and say, well, the radius is 6. If I told you that the radius was 4 and I asked for the diameter, then you would multiply it times 2 and say the diameter is 8. So those are those words. Now here's your chance to show me what you know. So in example B, it says, for this figure right here, what is the radius? I want you to fill it out. If you get confused, look at that figure on your on the other page. And then it says, what is the diameter? So how am I going to figure that out? Well, it's nice and easy. It's 2 of the radius. So fill that in too. All right, and now we have 2 more examples that say find the perimeter. So remember, the perimeter is just the distance all the way around the polygon. This is not a regular triangle because all the sides are not the same length. So in order to find the perimeter, oh man, I almost said area, the perimeter around this, I'm going to add up 4 plus 13 plus 5. So go ahead and do that and write your answer there with inches. And then for this fun figure right here, you can use our trick because I'm telling you right now that this is a regular octagon with 8 sides. So how are you going to figure out what the perimeter of that regular octagon is? I look forward to seeing your work tomorrow, so go ahead and get to work.